Before it was a badge of honor, before the roar echoed through the valleys, before British truckers were plastering V8 stickers on their windscreens with pride, the Scania V8 was just another truck. But it didn't stay that way. Somewhere along the hard miles, deep in the rain-soaked laybys and battered motorways of the UK, the Scania V8 transformed from a foreign import into a full-blown obsession. And the wild part? It wasn't just about horsepower, it was about identity, respect, that unmistakable deep-throated growl that made heads turn long before the cab even came into view. Back in the 70s and 80s, Britain was still a battleground of brands. ERF, Foden, Leyland, local heroes, built on grit and tradition. But Scania, that was something different. Scandinavian engineering, smooth curves, and a price tag that made some fleet managers laugh out loud. But the drivers paid attention, because the first time a Scania V8 passed them on a hill, with a full load, no struggle, just a clean, brutal push of torque, they knew something was up. It wasn't long before word spread. These V8s weren't just strong, they were different. Built like tanks, ran like sports cars, and sounded like thunder in a tin tunnel. You didn't just drive a Scania V8, you commanded it. And in a world where reputation on the road meant everything, that mattered. Pulling into a depot in a V8 said more than any CB chatter ever could. You were serious. You had the real thing. Under the hood sat the legendary Scania 14-liter V8. Over the years, it got bigger, badder, and even more bulletproof. 16 liters, 500 plus horsepower, enough torque to flatten hills and silence skeptics. The power delivery wasn't frantic. It was deliberate, confident, like the truck knew it had nothing to prove. It just was. And the sound. Oh, the sound. Deep, bassy, unapologetic. The kind of rumble that rattled shop windows as you rolled by at idle. The kind that made kids point and old blokes nod with respect. Even drivers in DAFs and Volvos couldn't help but admit it. The V8 had presence. You didn't need to see it, you felt it. But it wasn't just brute force. The V8s came wrapped in some of the best cabs in the game. Scania knew how to treat drivers like professionals. Comfortable seats, thoughtful layouts, storage where you actually needed it, soft touch surfaces before anyone else was doing it. These weren't just workspaces, they were second homes. And if you were pounding out 12-hour shifts week after week, that meant something. For owner-operators, the Scania V8 became the ultimate flex. Sure, you could buy cheaper trucks, plenty did, but if you wanted to make a statement, if you wanted clients and competitors to know you meant business, you rolled up in a V8. The resale value held, the image was untouchable, and most of all, you knew it wouldn't let you down. That reputation was earned mile after brutal mile on real roads with real weight. The R-Series brought the V8 legend into the modern age. Bigger cabs, sharper lines, even more refinement. But the heart stayed the same. That unmistakable V8 thump, that promise of relentless forward motion. Drivers loved them because they were machines built for drivers, not spreadsheets. You could cruise at 56 miles per hour all day with a full trailer and still feel like you had more in the tank. Pulling out to pass on an incline, no problem. The truck just leaned in and did the job. And Scania knew the power of culture. They didn't just build trucks, they built a brand. Limited editions, special trims, V8 logos stitched into the headrests, blacked out grills, chrome stacks, paint jobs that made grown men stare. These trucks weren't just tools, they were icons, and British hauliers embraced it. Truck shows, truck stops, social media feeds. The V8 was front and center, polished to a mirror shine, growling like an animal on a leash. Even now, when emission standards are tightening and electric rigs are being whispered about in boardrooms, the Scania V8 refuses to fade quietly. Drivers still want them, fleets still buy them, enthusiasts still rebuild them, because no battery hum, no silent cab, no tablet screen can replace the raw mechanical soul of a real diesel V8 doing what it was built to do. And maybe that's what it all comes down to. The Scania V8 didn't just win over British truckers with power or comfort. It won with personality, with character, with a kind of charisma you can't fake. You can't plug it in, and you sure as hell can't program it. It's in the way it sounds, the way it pulls, the way it makes you feel when you're behind the wheel and the road opens up ahead. Even as the trucking world pushes towards silence, autonomy, and cleaner power, the Scania V8 continues to roar through the diesel-soaked dreams of thousands of British hauliers. Because the truth is, this engine never needed to chase the future. It had already conquered the past. And every time one of these beasts fires up, you don't just hear it, you feel it deep in your chest like a heartbeat that never stopped pounding. What makes it even wilder is how the legacy still grows. The newer V8s, like the 770S, are absolute monsters. These trucks are putting out more power than ever, while still passing modern emissions rules. And yet, even with all the refinements, the soul of the V8 hasn't changed. That deep growl, that endless pull, that badge, chrome and proud, sitting just under the window like a scar earned in battle. It's not just branding, it's a flag, a signal to every other rig on the road. This is the real deal. Talk to anyone who's driven one and they'll tell you, it's not just about the speed or the strength, it's about the connection. The way the truck responds, you push it and it pushes back just enough to remind you who's in charge. Then it digs in and hauls like hell. From the muddy back roads of Northumberland to the tight roundabouts in Wales, these machines handle their business with a kind of calm aggression that's rare in modern rigs. And it's not just drivers who are in love. Fleet owners get it too. They know these trucks aren't just toys, they're investments. Expensive up front, sure, but they hold value. They don't fall apart after 5 years. They don't glitch out because of a dodgy sensor or a corrupt update. They just keep pulling year after year, mile after mile. Some fleets still run 10-year-old V8s daily, and those trucks are putting in work like they just rolled off the line. Now zoom out and look at the culture around these engines. You don't build a legacy like this by accident. Truck shows, social media pages, forums. The Scania V8 is everywhere. Custom builds with full paintwork, light bars brighter than stadium lights, airbrushed murals of bulldogs, and battle scenes across the cabs. And every one of them has that V8 logo shining somewhere like a badge of honor. The drivers, they're not just operators, they're curators of a legacy. They'll spend weekends cleaning brake dust off chrome trim. They'll drive hours just to park next to another V8 owner and talk gear ratios and turbo mods over a sausage roll and a flat white. They don't do it for show, they do it because they care. Because that truck means something. It's a part of their identity. And when you've driven one across 5 countries and it's never let you down, you remember that. Even younger drivers, the ones raised on touchscreen dashboards and automated gearboxes, feel the pull. There's just something about a V8 that makes you want to drive. Not manage, not monitor, just grab the wheel and go. It's the same feeling you get from a vintage muscle car or a proper old Land Rover. It's mechanical, it's visceral, it's real. And while the world debates electric trucks and low emission zones, Scania's still leaning in, still offering V8s that meet the strictest standards without losing their character, still refining without compromising, because they know, take away the V8 and you're not just losing power, you're losing the entire soul of the brand. What's even more incredible is how many of these trucks are still earning their keep, not sitting in garages or roped off at shows, working, hauling freight through snow, heat, rain, and traffic. You see them on the M6 with dirty wheels and bug-splattered windscreens, clocking in, doing the job, and sounding like gods. They're not museum pieces, they're legends that still clock a paycheck. Because that's what separates the V8 from everything else. It's not a luxury, it's not a gimmick, it's not for show. It's a tool, a very loud, very powerful, very well-loved tool. And when you're up against deadlines, steep climbs, long hauls, and brutal hours, you want a truck that won't flinch. You want a truck that sounds like a freight train when you fire it up at 3 a.m. You want a truck that still gives you butterflies when you climb in, even after 10 years of driving. That's why the Scania V8 isn't going anywhere. Not really. Maybe the industry changes. Maybe fuel gets cleaner. Maybe AI takes the wheel in some places. But there will always be drivers who want more than just efficient, who want something that makes them feel something, and for them, there will always be the V8. So if you've ever wondered what makes British truckers fall head over heels for one engine, it's not just nostalgia. It's not just the noise. It's the bond, the battles shared, the nights slept in freezing laybys, the sunrises over the A1, the knowledge that no matter what the road throws at you, that V8 will answer the call every single time. If this story lit that spark in you, drop a comment, share your favorite Scania moment, and hit that subscribe for more tales from the open road. Because until that last V8 is parked for good, the legend rolls on.